Hey everyone, my name is Nobian, and this is my third arc, or well, this should be either my second or my third video on the Arc of Truth today. I plan to maybe post two or three, maybe even four videos if I'm lucky. But yeah, let's get into the situation right now. So we already have this issue about free speech and fake news and a lot of other issues. In fact, this has actually this political position or no. I mean, honestly, it does. I think this should be a political position because I think pretty much almost every single American, I think 9 out of 10, believes in the ability to of free speech. To be allowed to say your political opinions, your own religious views, anything whatsoever, so long as that does not harm another person's free speech. And yet we have a lot of yet as a result we have two events that have become intertwined: Tucker Carlson and of course Jim Acosta. Now I'm gonna be talking about the latter very quickly because I think that's already been well addressed by many people on the internet, like Dr. Steve Turley, who I will be posting his video on the what happened in the news conference. I think it was yesterday, and I will be giving a little bit of my 2 cents, but then I'm gonna be moving on to Antifa. So as we so Donald Trump, just a day after the election on Wednesday, decided that he was going to give a news conference, but he made a few rules as a result. A few of the rules were that the mic was going to be passed around. You get and everyone gets one question, and then of course they pass around. That way it would be fair, and of course, the federal interns would be the ones who are going to be enforcing that sort of thing. Now, I don't think that there was an issue of eventually getting the microphone back so that you could ask another question, but still, it's meant to give everybody a fair share. So when Jim Acosta was when Jim Acosta himself was given the microphone, he basically talked about the migrant crisis, that sort of BS, and how he claims that it's not an invasion, that sort of thing, just trying to lecture Trump. So he just after just trying to debate Jim Acosta a little bit, he just tried to get another person to take the microphone instead, so that way he could be just done with this conversation. I mean, Jim Acosta is probably the biggest douchebag in journalism. He definitely is. I think he's I think there were two newspapers back that actually contributed to the start of the Spanish-American War, and honestly, I say he's near the top with those two newspapers. I don't recall what those two newspapers are, but I do recall that they were a major influence in leading up to our war with the Spanish, and of course with our engagement in the Philippines and Cuba and whatnot. But anyway, one of the interns tries to take the microphone away from Jim Acosta, and Jim Acosta tries to continually hold on to it while using his other hand to block the intern. Now he did actually touch her, just to let you know. But what he did was not assault. Nonetheless, it was not okay because as an intern, she was supposed to be the one who was enforcing the rules inside that conference. there was already been there was already an agreement among the news anchors that they would be once their time was up, they would pass uh, the mic to another reporter as a result, and just the intern was just doing her job, trying to make make this situation continue. But Jim Acosta, being the prick that he is, uh, decides to just continually hold on to it as if he were a 4-year-old wanting to have some more, wanting to have all the candy to himself, oh, instead of his friends or his siblings. That's basically Jim Acosta in a nutshell. And he tries many times to answer as many questions as possible, such as the Russia investigation, which Donald Trump has said that it was obviously a hoax, and honestly, I can't believe that that Jim Acosta is actually talking about it still, despite the fact that it's a dead horse that has been beaten for the last 2 years. I mean, you have to think that there would have been evidence already that would be directly linked to the president. But no. So he tries to ask as many questions. Finally, the intern manages to get the microphone away from Jim Acosta. He hands it to another reporter. I think I think the other guy worked for CNBC, but I cannot be positive. But before he was able to ask his question, Donald Trump immediately said how much of a rude and disrespectful person Jim Acosta is. And honestly, he's right. And for that, later today, his White House press pass was revoked indefinitely, which is great, because I don't really want to see that smug face of his ever again. But when he gets back on CNN, he just claims that he was just asking questions, and he's just trying to ask about Donald Trump's racist ad about the migrants and stuff, and this was him being professional, and it's supposed to be a violation of the First Amendment, which it's not. If you want to know what the first Jim Acosta, if you are somehow dumb enough to watch this video, let me tell you the real violation of First Amendment rights. It would be what happened to Tucker Carlson. Just a day after, which was Thursday, and it was yesterday, Tucker Carlson was preparing to be broadcast live in about 2 hours when the Antifa mob, by the name of Smash Racism DC, found his house, made a protest in front of it. Now, at first, that didn't seem a problem. As much as I hate Antifa, they had every right to protest on the street. But then it started getting worse. They have managed to graffiti his old driveway with as much Antifa shit as possible. They even tried to bang down the door a few times. And they said they know where he sleeps at night. And this was all the while his children and his wife were still inside the house. That is a basic call to political violence, aka terrorism. And all of this is because they think that Tucker Carlson is racist, a far-right supporter, and that he should be driven off of DC or shut up. If that's not a violation of someone's First Amendment rights, I don't know what is. Because this is just become out of control. The whole fact that Antifa was willing to use violence to make Tucker Carlson shut up, all because he has different political opinions, is insanity. And it's definitely a violation of the First Amendment. Even if they were... just... Honestly, I feel so sorry for Tucker Carlson. I hope him and his wife and kids are okay. I really do. This should not be excused by anyone. Not by the mainstream media, not by anyone. In fact, this should have been well reported instead of Jim Acosta, who is the biggest crybaby of all journalism. Take it back. That may be Don Lemon instead. Worst journalist of the year, Don Lemon, worst journalist of the year. Hashtag go John Ward. but yeah, this is definitely a call for violence just to disrupt someone's free speech. Now again, Tucker Carlson is he's a big opinion piece on Fox News, and he constantly brings in leftist people onto his show, and he constantly debates them. He tries to hear their points. He tries to see if they can beat him. I mean, that's what debates are, but in fact, every single time, he manages to win. I think that's the problem, actually. They're afraid of him, because he exposes a lot of the bullshit coming from the left wing, or more specifically, the triggered far left. That's basically what they're afraid of. And that's why they hate Tucker Carlson so much. He's a big man on the Fox News, he's very recognizable, and he's using his platform in order to speak out to a bigger range of audience. And they need to shut him up for that. Again, that is a basic violation of free speech. And let's not forget about the property damage and the harassment charges. And especially the threat of violence against his own family. Let's not forget that. So Jim Acosta, if you are actually thinking that what happened to you is a violation of the First Amendment, go talk to your friend Tucker Carlson. Or, no, not friend, colleague Tucker Carlson. I think he would have a different opinion than you. I really hope that one day that America would just wake up, and that they realize how BS this is, and how all these tactics are complete BS. Multiple harassments, multiple doxings, ruined careers. It's just gotten so out of control ever since Trump got elected. It was not his. And by the way, I'm not saying it's his fault. In fact, I'm completely saying the opposite. In fact, it was never Trump's fault. He's just been the president, and the leftist crybabies are just simply saying, "Oh, he's not our president," and anyone who disagrees with me is a racist, a sexist, a homophobe, and deserves to be beat. And again, I really hope that America wakes up. And that they finally drive Antifa out of this country for good. Because their communist ideology, their authoritarian ideology, their methods of political persuasion are never going to be ingrained in America. Or at least I hope not. My name is Noah Mia, the Young Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, share it, and subscribe. Bye.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains.